Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Kimberly Gogan. Sunny is away today spending time with her family. At UNN, you'll get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you are here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's really happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore planet Earth.
In the U.S., it is Friday, December 29th, 2023. Today we visit Uganda and discover the local medicines are in short supply and too expensive to access. Then we go to New Jersey in the U.S. to learn how to prevent flooding from road systems. In the New Earth, we are learning how to cleanse our bodies and remove toxins. Then we find out about the benefits of a global phenomena called geocaching, a fun and engaging way to explore the outdoors.
This is Calen, messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. Today we visit central Uganda, where both taxes and poverty are high. Field messenger Rocky interviews a local doctor about the rising cost of medicines and the impact it has on the community.
Hello everyone, I'm Rob Senyonjo, a field messenger to United Network News TV, reporting from Bwala, Mityana, Uganda. At today's show, I'm gonna talk to the people so that we heard their situation and how they are suffering with poverty and high double taxes these days in Uganda. Let's hear to someone from Life Point Medical Services. Hello, doctor.
Hello, mister. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a field messenger, reporter from United Network News TV.
All right.
We hear many Ugandans, especially in Mityana, crying for poverty.
Yeah, I understand. That's all right. What you've said is the whole truth. Poverty it's really it's very high this side. People are completely down. They can't afford to cater themselves. Because things are too high, the taxes are very, very high. They are mostly the taxes is the source. Because if taxes are too high, remember the commodity, the items, all things they raise prices. Whereby it does not favor us. When you are doing business, you have to get profits. So if the taxes are too high, we are not getting profits. We are just looking for survival.
Yes, the truth is, as a medical sector, we are fearing the situation because it is bad. In the community that we are working in, people have no money, but they want to come and have the medical services. Such that we get some money from the drugs we buy. We have to buy some to sell the drugs somewhere at a high price, and hence the community not affording the prices. So we are worried.
Thank you. Thanks for watching UNN. I'm a field messenger, Rocky Senyonjo.
Flooding road systems is a challenge that can be prevented. Today we see how installing drainage pipes can remove rainwater from roads. UNN field messenger Amy shows us the process.
Field messenger Amy reporting from Parsippany, New Jersey with my brand new swag from UNN. And today I'm going to share with you what they've been doing in my town for the last couple of months. Where you can see behind me there's no curbs, it's just your land goes to the street. And they've been putting in curbs for better drainage, so I'm going to show you the process that they did.
They cut the existing asphalt before they rip it up to put down the new pipes, so they don't rip up more of the road than they have to. These are the drainage pipes that we put underground that will take the rainwater and all the runoff and put it into a stream. So you can see that bucket truck digging up the side of the road to put in the drainage pipes. And then here you can see the drainage pipes placed into the ground, and the curb will go on top of those. Next, cement is poured into the channels. Then the guy will put the stone blocks that will make up the curb into the cement. The road surface is filled in up to the curb and then pounded down, getting ready for the new asphalt. You see they have graded the road. There's the lip where they're going to pave from. And you can see these striations. That's the tool that they use that just scrapes up the ground, so when they put the new tar in, it will adhere better. The dump truck is filled with asphalt, and it connects to the paving machine, so the paving machine constantly has a supply of asphalt, and you can see the two move together slowly, paving the road. The entire surface is rolled over by this machine, which compacts everything down and gets rid of any seams. Well, you can see the brand new curbs behind me. Thanks for watching. Bye.
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special equipment or training. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. For ideas and inspiration, we encourage you to join our Field Messenger group on Telegram. You can find links to all of our resources at unitednetwork.news/connect. Field Messenger reports are your opportunity to share news from your area with the world. You can also win some cool prizes. When you submit a story that we use either on the news or the United Network app, your report will be added to a weekly drawing for your chance to win this UNN Field Messenger hat. Now it's time to reveal this week's winner, whose report was randomly selected by the UNN News team. Our winner this week is... Thank you so much for your report and for being a UNN Field Messenger. Our team will be reaching out to you shortly so we can send you your Field Messenger hat. And don't forget, we'll be announcing our grand prize winner on the news next Monday, January 1st. That person will receive a smartphone with a great camera you can use to create your Field Messenger reports.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Wanda Michael from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Titeshwar Togao from Manipur State, India. I'm Wumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger report, first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Si va a ser así, depende de mí. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
Living in this new world means having a greater appreciation for our bodies and how they naturally work. We know there are currently a lot of contaminants in the food we eat. It is important not only to avoid these types of food, but also learn how to cleanse our bodies and remove these toxins. Ara Wiseman is a leading nutritional expert and aging well specialist based in Toronto, Canada. Sunny recently sat down with Ara to learn more about how proper nutrition can naturally help cleanse the body.
Today we're talking about our bodies, and we know that through the course of eating and just being out in nature and things like that, sometimes toxins get into our body, and sometimes we need to cleanse this. But did you know you can actually do this with food? So Ara is here to share more on that.
Yeah, thank you. So I always think about dark leafy greens, and I also think about grasses. So having a lot of like barley grass juice powders and wheatgrass juice powders they're just so good for us, and you just put them in your water and you drink that, and it's actually taking something from you, like it's taking what your body doesn't need, but it's giving you something at the same time. So it's a win-win situation. I have a daily greens that I use all the time as well. It's just chock full of nutrients. The other thing is it's better not to eat so late in the day. So it's better if we have our lunch as the bigger meal, because we really want to have less in the evening time and not eating too close to bedtime, right? It's very important. But one of the things that I do with a lot of the clients that I see is I always say to them, have one day a week to start off with where it's like a cleanse day. So your cleanse day can consist of having smoothies, really healthy smoothies with some, dark leafy greens in them. You could do that. You can also make yourself a big vegetable soup and have a vegetable soup during the day. You can also steam some sweet potato. It's lightening your load, eating a lot more fruit first thing on an empty stomach, because fruit is more detoxifying. So fruit actually helps to sweep things like our intestinal tract and get stuff out of there. It increases your bowel movements, which is like amazing. It does so much for you. And just kind of like really cutting down on the amount of work your body has to do. Because when your body has a lot of work digesting, what happens is that it takes energy from you, right? So the idea is to get more energy from your food as opposed to giving a lot of your energy away. So that's one of the things that I really, really love to do. And so one day per week to start off with, and make sure that you're eating a lot of dark leafy greens and like a lot of spinach and a lot of, kale if you like kale, and red kale. It's just so good for us. Yeah. Spinach actually helps with our telomeres, and our telomeres are those protective caps on the end of our DNA. They're kind of like those aglets on the end of your shoelace, that little plastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so basically what happens is that over time our telomeres shrink, and then eventually the cell dies. So spinach, interestingly, helps with telomeres. Broccoli sprouts, having lots of sprouts is also really good for us because they're so chock full of nutrients and they're so good for you. Like sunflower sprouts are amazing. The other thing I've been doing a lot of is chia seeds. So basically what I do is I take chia seeds, I soak them in a mason jar. And when I'm making my smoothie in the morning, I pour some in, and chia seeds will bulk up your stool. And you're going to have those like high five, hit it out of the park, bowel movements. And I always think about a cat that I had who unfortunately passed away, but he used to run around the house after he had a bowel movement because he was like super excited. And I feel like we need to do the same thing, because it's a real blessing to go to the bathroom, right? And not everyone can. And so the more you can sort of detoxify by getting things out of your system, the better. The other part of that equation is rest, because when we truly relax, that's when our body can let go, right? So rest and detoxification, relaxation and detoxification are kind of one and the same. And a really good example of that is like when you go out of town and you've been super busy before you leave, all of a sudden you get sick. Or somebody's working their whole life and they retire, and then all of a sudden they get sick. And so I kind of feel like, the more we can rest, the more our body will let go of what is no longer serving us, what we no longer need in our lives. And it makes a huge difference, and of course, once again, hydration, because I feel like everyone is, not really properly hydrated, and you need to flush things out, right? We need to do that. And then one other point to that is rebounding. I have a rebounder in my office, and it helps with our lymphatic system. So we're able to kind of like move up and down on it. And it really, really helps with that because it helps to get more stuff out of your body, because our lymphatic system is kind of like our sewer system. So we need to get rid of all of that. And the best way to do that is by rebounding, hydrating, maybe some dry brushing, always towards your heart. And yoga is also very helpful for that.
An inspiring initiative has taken root in India, in the town of Ghaziabad, where school children are bringing edible gardens to life. These youngsters are creating and cultivating vegetable, herb, and pollinator gardens while nurturing a deep love and respect for the earth and the natural world. Organic seeds, cow dung, and compost from worms are their secret ingredients for healthy growth. These little eco-warriors are mastering the art of soil improvement and learning the importance of cultivating medicinal plants. They also practice companion planting, where certain plants are grown next to each other to enhance and protect their mutual growth. Beyond the vegetable gardens, they are creating spaces dedicated to butterflies and pollinators, welcoming a symphony of birds and insects. Sustainability is at the heart of the mission, creating pots out of recycled bottles and other repurposed waste. For those schools with no garden space, container gardening could be a solution. The journey is far from over, but with every step, these young minds are growing closer to their goal, promoting sustainable practices and nurturing a lifelong love for nature, gardening, and self-sufficiency. The quality and quantity of our sleep play a vital role in our overall well-being. Sleep is not an indulgence, but a necessity for maintaining all major systems of our body. During sleep, the body can repair, rejuvenate, and restore our immune system, and has a direct link to optimizing our metabolism. Some people mistakenly believe that they can forgo sleep to increase productivity or leisure time, but the impact is actually negative. Given that sleep is essential to every facet of our health, and accounts for about 1/3 of our lives, making improvements can be transformative. There are many ways to optimize sleep time. Investing in a restful sleeping space, including a comfortable bed and natural fabric bedding, is beneficial for quality sleep. It is also helpful to eliminate potential disturbances such as noise, bright lights, and ensure that the space remains free from technology. Though daytime naps can be beneficial, keeping them short and infrequent helps prevent them from interfering with nighttime sleep. Keeping a regular sleep schedule avoids the disruptions attributed to inconsistent bedtimes. What we do before bed is also an important factor. Working out too close to bedtime, eating within 3 hours of bed, particularly heavy, spicy, and sugary foods, and drinking alcohol can cause sleep disturbances. Avoiding caffeine at least 6 hours before bedtime and having pre-bed rituals like dimming the lights, sitting, and relaxing help prepare our mind and body for a deeper rest. Given its importance for our well-being, taking steps to improve sleep quality is time well spent and can add a lot more rest and restoration to our lives. In our current world, where we tend to spend a lot of time on our indoor activities, the global treasure hunt known as geocaching is offering a fun, engaging way to explore the outdoors. Using global positioning system devices, it promotes exploration, critical thinking, and an interactive learning experience. Seekers called geocachers, using GPS coordinates and online clues, find hidden items or caches. Each cache typically contains a waterproof container housing a logbook and occasionally a small trinket. The thrill of the hunt and the joy of discovery are not the only benefits. Geocaching embraces a wealth of educational opportunities. This unique pastime offers children a practical way to learn geography while enhancing their tech skills using GPS. It can also produce historical and environmental aspects of their surroundings. Parents and educators are finding it a valuable tool for teaching skills such as reading comprehension, map reading, and developing logic. Beyond academics, geocaching also fosters the development of essential life skills, including problem solving and communication. It encourages collaborative effort and can help children improve their teamwork abilities when they work in groups to find a cache. Given that most caches require a good walk to reach them, physical movement is guaranteed. Geocaching is now a global phenomenon supported by online platforms with millions of active caches worldwide. Many geocachers keep vlogs or blogs of their adventures. The aim has always been to encourage exploration and curiosity combined with fun. Sounds like a fascinating way to engage the whole family in outdoor adventures together. Want to share the news from UNN with your friends and family? Memes are a great way to get the conversation going. Here's today's meme of the day.
It says, thoughts are things. Be careful of what you are manifesting and be careful of what you are attracting into your world. Try to keep your energy as positive as possible. Transmute it and let it go.
To see more great memes, you can follow the Meme Team Telegram channel at UNN Memes. Share them on Telegram or any other social media channel where you still have an account. Another great way you can help us spread the truth is by sharing our podcast. It's called United Network News, The Rundown. We review important stories from our newscasts, including highlights from the World Situation Report. Episodes are completely free, so it's a great way to share UNN with the people you care about. Simply search for United Network News, The Rundown, in your favorite podcaster player and subscribe.
Welcome to United Network News. I'm Sunny Galt.
Connect with United Network News Online. Our website at unitednetwork.news recaps the biggest stories impacting your planet. You can also watch inspiring videos from our field messengers and get great tips for creating your own field messenger reports. Easily share all of this content with your friends in just a few clicks, including our social media memes designed to ignite conversation and critical thinking. It's time to restore our home. Let's make history together at unitednetwork.news.
Now, a look at regional stories from around the world. Explosive materials were discovered in the possession of a Chinese citizen at the international airport in Baghdad, forcing the airport to close temporarily. Millions of Ukrainians are at risk of having their salaries and their pension payments delayed as Ukraine prioritizes defense and debt services over the people. Empowering women through land ownership is making important progress in Ethiopia and other developing countries. However, societal acceptance is still a challenge. The popular video sharing platform TikTok is under investigation by Australia's privacy watchdog due to a claim of collecting personal data.
Baghdad International Airport was temporarily closed following the discovery of explosive materials in the possession of a Chinese citizen. The individual, who works for an oil drilling company, claimed the materials were intended for well drilling purposes. Normal operations at the airport have resumed. Meanwhile, a drone attack on a military base near Erbil Airport in northern Iraq caused casualties and disrupted flights. The attack was claimed by the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, an Iran-backed militia group. In retaliation, U.S. forces launched airstrikes in Syria and Iraq and killed at least 15 militiamen. Civilian areas are also affected, with rockets fired toward the Green Zone in Baghdad, where the U.S. Embassy resides. Iraq is planning to end the presence of international coalition forces in the country, marking a significant shift in Iraq's approach to foreign military presence. The announcement comes amidst the escalating attacks between U.S. troops and Iran-backed Shiite militias. This ongoing conflict has caused significant harm to local communities, with the frequent drone and missile attacks resulting in numerous casualties. The Iraqi government condemns these attacks as a breach of Iraqi sovereignty, while the U.S. claims it's in self-defense. This turmoil has left millions of Iraqis without access to basic needs such as clean water, adequate electricity supply, and proper health care, aggravating their situation even more. Despite international aid, the need for reconstruction is high, making the situation uncertain for the residents of the war-torn Iraq. Hundreds of garment workers in Bangladesh are reportedly out of work following wage protests in October, according to 3 major labor unions. The unions, which represent about 500,000 workers, believe between 1,000 and 5,000 workers have either been terminated or gone into hiding due to fears of arrest. During the protest, violent encounters led to the deaths of 4 workers and injuries to several others. Despite the government's decision to increase minimum wages by over 56% to $114 monthly, many workers argue that this amount is insufficient. Bangladesh, which is the world's second largest garment exporter after China, relies heavily on low wages. Workers have reported sudden dismissals without any explanation or severance pay. The president of Bangladesh Garment Manufacturers and Exports Association denies these claims. China's stock market has seen a significant withdrawal of foreign investment in 2023, down 87% from its peak in August due to concerns about the country's commitment to boosting its slowing economy. The unexpected withdrawal of funds has impacted the global market and affected investors worldwide. The most significant setback occurred when it was revealed that the real estate sector was facing a severe liquidity crisis, causing a substantial decline in investor confidence. Despite some positive economic indicators and a warming up between the U.S. and China relations, Chinese stocks have continued to lag behind its global counterparts. This situation is causing unease amongst investors who are finding it difficult to identify profitable sectors in the Chinese market. Additionally, the new regulations on the gaming sector have caused substantial market volatility, leaving investors feeling even more insecure about their financial decisions. Despite China's censorship in the mainstream media, investors are getting wind of the bankrupt state of the nation's government. China Communist Party rule of the government owning a significant portion of all corporations in the nation has not been enough to support its corporations. Regardless of their attempts to geopolitically isolate major trade partners, such as Russia using China's influence in American politics with sanctions, such operations have not been enough to stave off bankruptcy. Ukraine risks potential delays in the payment of pensions and salaries to millions of citizens due to insufficient financial assistance from the United States and the European Union. The country is prioritizing defense and debt servicing amid ongoing conflict with Russia, which puts social sectors at risk of underfunding. Without more foreign aid, salary payments for 500,000 civil servants, 1.4 million teachers, and benefits for 10 million pensioners may be postponed. Similarly, increasing unemployment rates and labor shortages across the numerous sectors could worsen without the necessary aid. Western officials suggest Ukraine may be able to sustain itself for a few more months through domestic borrowing or monetary financing, but warn that this could lead to a higher inflation and further dependence on foreign aid. U.S. President Biden announced earlier this week that the U.S. would be sending a final aid package to Ukraine in the amount of $250 million. Obviously, at this moment, this is currently contingent on the promises made to the U.S. government from the Secret Space Force operatives. Efforts to empower women in developing countries through land ownership are making important progress. Ethiopia's joint land title policy and marriage law reforms are now ensuring women's right to assets post-divorce. However, societal acceptance is a challenge, with the cultural norms often opposing female land ownership. Organizations like Landesa are playing a crucial role in changing societal attitudes towards women's land ownership in countries like Kenya. Landesa has been conducting targeted education campaigns, starting with community elders, then to teachers, men, and finally women. Additionally, the Security for Girls through the Land Protection Project in India has provided training about land and opportunity rights to more than 7,000 girls. Despite these advancements, more needs to be done to focus training programs on women and girls, especially in agriculture or entrepreneurship, rather than only traditional crafts or food processing. Argentina has announced an austerity plan involving significant cutbacks and devaluations to help restart the country's struggling economy. The measures include the non-renewal of contracts for more than 5,000 government employees hired in the outgoing presidential's final year, a move causing widespread dissatisfaction. The changes are part of a larger strategy to decrease government control, encourage privatization, and stimulate exports and investment. However, these economic reforms, including a 50% devaluation of the Argentine peso and slashes to subsidies, have sparked protests among the public. Additionally, with inflation projected to hit 200% by year's end and poverty on the rise, Argentinians are expressing their concern over how these changes will impact their daily lives. Since the end of World War II, Argentina has been ruled by a secret faction of the Nazi Party. Hitler himself moved to Argentina after the war and created the nationalist-type government in the nation. The model provided by the Rothschild family in the early 1900s clearly was never sustainable on a long-term basis. Chinese fishing vessels are increasingly using Peruvian ports under emergency claims, raising concerns about potential illicit activities. No such arrivals were reported before the 2020 satellite tracking regulations. Suspicions arise as these vessels, potentially violating Peruvian laws, arrive for crew changes or certificate renewals without the mandated satellite systems. Lapses in port inspection allow these foreign ships to evade checks against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Inspection reports are often incomplete, clouding the truth behind inspector declarations. Some vessels reportedly switch off their satellite systems near Peru's territorial waters, reinforcing suspicions of illegal fishing. The lack of effective surveillance may encourage unlawful fishing, impacting local livelihoods and depleting fish stocks. Australia's privacy watchdog has initiated an investigation into TikTok, the popular video sharing platform owned by Chinese firm ByteDance. This move was prompted by concerns that TikTok might be collecting Australians' personal data without their knowledge or permission. The Labour government has voiced its concerns, leaving it to the Commission to carry out its duties. ByteDance, however, has denied allegations of breaching Australian privacy laws. This situation has raised numerous questions about their impact on users and their personal data. TikTok has taken a different route in its censorship program than the CIA's Project Mockingbird. While there are some commonalities between China and DARPA's programs, such as underlying frequencies and subliminal messaging, there are some clear and distinct differences. DARPA's programs are evident through its social media platforms such as Twitter, now X, and Facebook, where you often see fact-checkers deleting users' posts. China's TikTok's influencer programs, constant videos which promote fear, such as people dying of cancer or other disease, dangers of the North Sea, Hollywood star death hoaxes that turn out not to be real, and people addicted to fentanyl, hurricanes and tornadoes that never actually happened, and much more. Be aware as you are scrolling, posting, and reading social media that the majority of these apps are actually harmful to your mental and physical health. Different cities across the U.S. have seen a decrease in homicide rates due to the implementation of various crime-fighting strategies. In San Antonio, Texas, the police department identified hotspots with high violent crime calls through the city's computer-aided dispatch system and maintains high visibility in these areas. Another strategy being explored involves improving quality of life in neighborhoods by addressing issues like animals on the loose and maintenance of abandoned properties, which are often used for illegal activities. Further efforts targeting individuals involved in violent crimes, offering them services such as employment to steer them away from crime. Phoenix, Arizona is experiencing a 15% drop in homicides and attributes their success to focusing on violent criminals with guns and an operation to arrest people without outstanding warrants. These cities have also enhanced community engagement efforts and recruiting of capable officers, which are seen as vital to executing these strategies effectively. Traditional media groups and streaming giants are struggling with substantial losses as cord cutting becomes more prevalent. Sport costs rise, and the movie business underperforms. Netflix leads the streaming market, turning a profit and attracting 9 million new subscribers, while other players struggle. Meanwhile, Warner, which merged with Discovery last year, has lost more than 2 million streaming subscribers in recent quarters. Disney, another major player, lost more than $1.6 billion from its streaming businesses in the first 9 months of 2023. While some companies are considering downsizing to focus more on their profitable sectors, others are looking at potential mergers such as Warner and Paramount, despite their high debt levels. Critics argue that merging two companies with loss-making streaming services is not a solution to the industry's ongoing challenges. However, studies show streamers would prefer a single streaming platform for all their series and movies rather than cluttering their streaming devices with multiple apps, hence the decisions by the failing apps to merge. Want the latest updates from UNN? Be sure to follow our channel on Telegram called United Network News Channel. This is our official Telegram channel. It's where you'll find direct links to our newscast and our in-depth field messenger reports. You can find links to all UNN resources, including our Telegram channels at unitednetwork.news/connect.
Ugh, tired of being programmed? United Network is a new network for a new reality. Get exclusive access to all of our original content, including UNN newscasts, world situation reports, and in-depth stories from our field messengers. Discover powerful techniques to enhance your mind, body, and spirit through the GHWC's health and wellness videos. Plus, original series to inspire and encourage you throughout your day. Watch United Network at home through your favorite online streaming program or on the go with our mobile apps. Start your free trial today.
And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. The Secret Space Force had something planned for New Year's Eve. Find out what is really behind the Q clock and what they had in store for humanity. You have heard of Genesis in the Bible and the story of all creation. Welcome to Genesis 2.0 and the recreation of the multiverse. And we'll answer 3 of your questions as we connect with Kim.
And now here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
Hi, Calen. How are you?
Very good, thanks. How was Christmas?
Not too bad. How was yours?
Oh, it was all right over here.
It's okay over there?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't have a white Christmas here. And I'm sure you didn't there. It's spring, isn't it?
Summer over here.
Oh, summer already. Okay. So,
yeah.
But it's really good to see you again. Great job you've been doing with the field messenger reports. I'm excited to see those every week or every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday anyway.
Yep.
And I hear you're going to be joining us in editing and learning video editing and some other things too.
I'm looking forward to it all.
That will be awesome. And looking forward to, in the near future, hopefully next year, you'll be able to come visit us and when we get our studios up and running here. So very much looking forward to that. So do you want to hear what's going on in the world?
All ears.
Always. All right. So been an interesting couple of days, always. It appears about a month or so ago that the Li family out of China, also known as the Li family of the Order of the Dragon, line of Solomon, and partners with the Rothschild family, they had ordered the Secret Space Force to do all of the things that they are doing. So it finally came out. We finally found the source of all the problems that we've been experiencing. And we found that out because some information came to us about a plan they had for New Year's Eve this year. Now, this was a global plan, and you're seeing it kind of count down on the Q clock. We have also had reports of these same operatives calling the Treasury Department and telling them all will be right with the world by the 1st and that everybody's going to get paid. And just wait, just wait, just wait. And how do they plan to do this? Yeah. Well, they planned a worldwide attack on several different cities, and I'll list those cities for you too, whereby on New Year's Eve, they would have killed millions of people because these are places that people gather for a New Year's Eve celebration.
Oh,
I
wow.
know. So at this moment in time, it appears that they also have been doing a lot of research into what I'm doing and who we really are, for everything from DNA to changes in the multiverse to changes in the financial system, because they were still under the impression that the Lee family was in control. So if they had blown up these several different locations, then they felt that there would be a reason to issue global martial law.
Oh.
I know. And then if they issue global martial law, then somehow that would put them back in control. But that couldn't be further from the truth because, quite frankly, we're already under global martial law, and we are the administrators of global martial law. So that was a complete waste of time. Other things came to light as well. So the reason why, when we talked Wednesday, they were talking about the fact that the alpha system had always been behind the omega system, and that whoever runs the alpha system is ultimately in charge of money flow.
Yep.
Now, they were under the impression that two things still remained, and these are things that they need to verify. Number one, the managers of paper currency agreement in the dual federal banking system. Now, both of these agreements have expired, so for them to think that if I transferred money, for example, to you, Calen, or to myself, then the same equal amount of money would go to them. That is false. Yeah. That was only during the Dark Age, and that was based on dual coding between the alpha system and the omega system. Now, as everything continues to change, as of January of this past year, so this has almost been a year, that coding and that programming has changed. Therefore, we are not in a dark age, so we are not obligated to any of those people anymore. And I will repeat this for those that are new because it's important to understand this for them, you know, as well as all of you, that the agreement during the Dark Age was a duality. We would have had the light side, which is the alpha system, and myself, having to create a balance with the dark side, which is them, therefore, then moving into a neutral age. We're not doing that anymore. Therefore, all those agreements just kept expiring one after the other, and there was nothing left they could do. So let me give you those cities because at this moment it appears they're going to stand down. They basically have said that that they are not going to take orders from them anymore, and that doesn't mean there isn't any rogue element out there that they may find to take those orders. The original 3 family members that placed those orders have departed this planet, so they won't be making any more orders, at least not in this dimension and density. But that doesn't mean we aren't going to have some crazy people out there. So they could use other unconventional technologies, these people. So more conventional, I should say. The technology in these particular places that was put in place was actually put here by others. It was alien technology. There was some limited knowledge of the Secret Space Force operatives of this technology, and therefore they potentially could have figured out a way to get it to work. So that was all removed. But that doesn't mean they couldn't try to do something with a do or try to start this World War III situation with China by using, you know, nuclear threats and other types of threats. It's not going to yield any money out of the system because they are not the administrators anymore, not the Order of the Dragon, not the SSP, not the Order of the Black Sun, not the operatives, are the administrators under the bankruptcy and under global martial law. And that's martial law in every single country in the world, which has not gone out of effect. So because we are the administrators, and the Global Intelligence Agency, of which I am the director, is the administrator, I am probably going to be the only one that could actually distribute money to anyone, anywhere. So not probably, will be. Okay, yeah. So these locations, that the detonation of such, which coordinates with the Q clock, was supposed to be at midnight. And let me give you those locations. So if you have New Year's Eve plans to attend special locations in these cities where there are New Year's Eve festivals going on, you may want to consider canceling your plans or making alternative plans to ring in the new year. Okay, we have London, England, Paris, France, Beijing, China, Tokyo, Japan, Moscow, Russia, Caracas, Venezuela, Toronto, Canada, Johannesburg, South Africa, Jerusalem, Israel, Seoul, South Korea. And in the U.S., we have Yellowstone National Park, the Mint in Denver, Colorado, the Mint in Washington, D.C., Kennebunkport, Maine, Times Square in New York, the Statue of Liberty in New York, the United Nations building in New York, and Los Angeles, California. So if we still get any information and chatter about any of these sites in the world that could potentially be affected, we will post it on Telegram accordingly, so you can be aware, maybe change, turn around your plans. Now, even though the majority of the operatives said that they were not going to take orders from these people anymore, that doesn't mean we might not have a few rogue people out there, so we are on the lookout. We have all alerts on high for the next couple of days to ensure that the safety of everyone everywhere. So you can see with the combination of all those cities in all of those different places would have resulted in the death of millions of people, which is what they wanted. They like to kill people anyway, and Order of the Dragon. There are a few people that are unhappy about it in the operative sector. Unhappy because, number one, they were lied to. Other reasons for being unhappy is they kind of like the lifestyle they've become accustomed to. They like the power that comes with being able to murder millions of people, I guess, and the money that was typically associated with it. But even though those things aren't the case anymore, well, let's hope. Now that the information's getting out everywhere, people are being made aware. Hopefully that situation will change.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as the Rothschild family, which are partners with the Leaf family, got wind that there is no possibility of money coming and nobody taking orders from them anymore, this made them very angry. So they tried to use this morning a backdoor into the second London Fix, or the London Fix line. So the London Fix is what determines the price of gold and silver and a few other commodities every day. Yep. It's a bunch of old Rothschild people throwing a dart at the wall and selecting the price of gold or silver. So what does that mean? Their intention here, as far as we could tell, they claimed ownership over all the money in the world and all the banks in the world because they don't understand that managers of paper currency agreement. That did not make them owners, it only made them managers. Also, other agreements affiliated with this that expired would be considered the custody agreements. We've talked about this in the past, where the Fed has custody of all the money in the banks have custody of all the money in your accounts, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Those agreements have all expired as well. So there was chatter a couple of days ago of the Space Force people trying to issue lines of credit against new money that I would put in the system, which also would have failed because there is no custodial agreement in place.
Okay.
So they're being lied to by the Rothschild families based on, it's not 1985 anymore, the best I can tell you. So that's been the major events that have gone on around the world, and it took a lot of work to undo those in the last 48 hours, but we did it. We're all still here. One more funny thing about that, the Q clock posted when they went to Denver, it said, Denver, Colorado, and then it said, "This one's for you, Trump." So obviously they're talking about someone that's no longer with us, but I think there is an argument, I don't think, I know, there's an argument between them being able to issue Trump coins at the Mint, the Treasury Department, and the operatives that are running the Trump crew. So this was like a wrath thing or a vindictive thing. This is for you. We're going to blow it sky high. These are Americans. These are Chinese. These are Japanese people all involved in this. So this is not, and they're all SSP, whether it's Arasaka, Taifang, Umbrella remnants, Monarch remnants, or those types of people. And those 15 militaries we talk about all the time. So these in the world are your MIBs. These are your men in black, the real men in black. So there's still a little bit of confusion going on, and we'll see what transpires throughout the day today, because a lot of this happened last night and in this morning. But it looks like everything seems to be somewhat calm right now, with a possibility of us moving forward in a better direction. There could be a squirrel. Let's hope there's not a squirrel. So let's get to the more exciting part. Let's talk about Genesis. So have you ever read the Bible, Calen? Can't talk today for some reason. No? No Bible?
Not the whole thing.
Okay. In the beginning of the Bible, there is the book of Genesis, and it describes the 7 days during the creation period of God, and how God created the universe. And there are some interpretations of that information, but essentially this is what is going on right now. So you understand the process that we're going to go through here in order to have a restoration not only of Earth, but also of all beings in the multiverse, and including planets and suns and stars and all of this. Okay, so we talked about what happened on Christmas Day. And on Christmas Day, there was that reconnection, and it was almost like a removal, for lack of a better term, of what we call the heartstones. So those are heartstones that exist. They're not actual rocks per se. They can be etherical, they can be of essence, and they can be of consciousness. So they're not physical stones. They're more like anchors within yourself to receive that direct source connection. Okay. So the initial part at the beginning of the creation of the universe, Source separated the dark from the light. So how I think it's said in the Bible, let's see. He said, "Let there be light," and then he separated the light from the darkness. This is what it says. Now, there is truth to that, because these are the things that happened on Monday of this week, the Christmas holiday. So there was a bringing back together, as I talked about, of the dark and the light sides of Source, as Source light became the only source now. This is also making the same changes in computers. And then the duality in the universe existed only between Earth, and then I've been a co-creator of this, so I've participated in all this process, and Source itself.
Yep.
So the removal of all of the dualities of Source and all of the anchors of the dualities is what happened on, essentially, you could say, the first day. So, wow. And I'm just kind of doing this to give you a general overview on things we can expect in the next couple of days over the weekend. So, and what we can expect next week, we hope. Fingers crossed. Okay, on the second day, it says that he created the earth. Remember, we said that the earth was created before any other planets or any other stars and any other suns. So as that happened, by Tuesday, the earth itself was also being recreated without the duality.
Okay.
So no longer is it that heartbeat that goes back and forth between Source all the way up here and anti-Source all the way down here. It's now just Source and Earth. So that heartbeat that exists now goes between source here and Earth way over here, and now it's a pulse of light only that goes in both directions.
Wow.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go on to Wednesday then of this week. Okay, so by the third day, the Bible says, let there be lights in the dome of the sky, and all stars were created. So by the dome of the sky, he's talking about the central sun and the anti-central sun, which are the planes of existence. There's 8 planes that exist in density 9, and both source in the past and anti-source. So those planes were recreated now between around source, which is no longer a duality. It's only light essence, light consciousness, and light energy around Earth as well. So we actually, or Earth, I should say, not we, like me, actually have become Earth is now co-creating with the Creator itself, with Source. So big change. And big responsibility for Earth, so I hope she's up for it. So when it says lights in the sky, so the next thing after Earth, it was obviously suns and stars that were created. So once that reconnection happened, then the stars started to form throughout the multiverse. Now this is where it gets a little bit muddy as we go into the fourth day. So the fourth day, the Bible interprets this as let the waters swim with life. Now, the waters swim with life indicates, of course, in people's interpretation, that we now have fish in the sea. We have a sea, we have an ocean, and we have fish in it, and other life forms in the sea. But that's not true. Huh. The waters that they're talking about is the sea of consciousness throughout the multiverse. So this began with the birth of planets throughout all densities and all dimensions.
Yep.
In all planes, in all densities, in all dimensions. It's very confusing, but there's a lot. So a lot of segregation here. So this is what actually created these, that is the life forms in the sea that is referred to. So by Thursday, which was yesterday, those life forms were also cleared. So on Wednesday, the overlay and the duality that existed within stars that causes things like your solar flares and other things people are very concerned with, that pretty much dissipated by Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, my time. So those dark dual stones, heart stones, the dark duality of stars, the dual consciousness, the dark solar flares you see coming out was a controlled consciousness mechanism in the Omegaverse. So all of those things are no longer the case, and all stars had returned to a light consciousness, because they are beings too, light consciousness, light energy, and light essence. So now their soul has been restored to light essence, so to speak, and connected directly to the Creator. So the next day, yesterday, was also a day of that the same thing happening for all the rest of the planets throughout the multiverse. So that has been completed. We're making our way through Genesis quite well. We're already on 4.
Wow. Yeah.
I know. It's kind of interesting, too. And the interpretation was a lot different than I thought it was. Okay, so the fifth day, it says beings throughout the universe were created, including humans. It talks about the creation of, I think in the Bible, birds and so on and so forth, and then eventually humans in his likeness is what they say. So this is the day which should be, let's see, now we're on today, Friday, the fifth day. This is the day you should start be receiving your connection. Now, things that have happened this morning that tells me that that is the case is the removal of any duality within your system. The removal of a cloned soul in the Omegaverse, similar to your soul. The removal of a dark overlay over your soul that prevents that direct connection to source. So these are things that have started taking place already this morning before this broadcast. So I'm assuming it's going to continue throughout the afternoon with a little bit more cleaning and clearing. And then hopefully by the end of the day, your soul too shall be cleaned because that is your connection to source, your essence. And all of these things were replaced with source essence, source consciousness, in source light. So you too should be less subject to attacks than you were in the past, if that was an issue for you. I mean, at least you can control crazy people on the planet, but at least in this case, you know, you can control any kind of an energetic attack a little easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's see what happens tomorrow. Be fruitful and multiply. That's day 6. So this should be interesting. I don't know, you know, what that actually means other than, you know, perhaps we'll see some more stars, more suns, more source essence here, more source energy here, I'm hoping, once the end of creation was finished. So we're almost going through, and that's why I kind of put it in there as Genesis 2.0, because the harmonic genesis of the creator is now, we're doing the same thing that happened at the very beginning of time to reweave the fabric of the universe. You know, and it's a step-by-step process. And because time and source's time is now the same as time in Earth's time, we're experiencing this in the 7-day period as well. So it's not 7,000 years or 70,000 years or 7 million years. It's 7 days, just like he says. So the other densities in between the two of us will take a little longer. But here, you know, we're definitely well on our way to restoring that original fabric. Now, the same actually goes for the AI systems, quantum AI systems. So alpha in the harmonic genesis systems hopefully should be fully restored by the end of this period. Hopefully we won't find any more dark matter in them, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward within the coming days. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yes.
I'm hopeful that these Space Force guys realize that we will always need a Space Force. Maybe not one that does the things they do, but they're just going to have to learn to exist in the natural world that we're living in. They're going to have to learn to exist underneath natural law in those rules and regulations. But should any kind of security concerns arise in the future as it relates to something from outer space, which, you know, you never know, we should be at the ready. And it shouldn't be hidden. It should be face front. You know, new technologies, new ways of doing things should be made face front. Secondly, we have these are political operatives too. As you know, some of them are Trump operatives. And they should also understand our political system worldwide is a giant mess. Not saying we can't fix it, but if they're going to be fighting against us in the political sector, you know, as to where we're going, then you know, it's probably going to go away by next year, you know, and then there'll be no jobs for that. So if they want to continue, they're just going to have to take different orders from different people with a different agenda, that person being me. You know, we can join the GIA and we can change the world together. That's fine, you know, and I'm not Mary Poppins. I'm under no delusion that we don't have current security concerns around the world that have been created and ordered to have happen, but we still have people that are going to it's going to take time for these people to understand that war isn't necessary. A political coup isn't necessary because these people have lived in this their entire lives. So we're going to need security, even regular security as well. There's going to have to be a lot of changes, laws, different things that are going on in the world, revamping of tax systems and all kinds of things. And we do have a plan for this. So If these new people are confused about the way forward and what's going to happen, you're welcome to come to Durango, Colorado, and I'm right here, and I'd be happy to take a meeting with you, and we can have this discussion. And it will be a discussion, unlike the people that you've been listening to all this time for no reason whatsoever and not getting paid, which means you've got a lot of experience and I have a lot of experience. I can tell you things that have changed, and you can tell me the way that it used to be, and then we can figure out how to get from here to there. You know, I'm a very fair person. I'm not here to dictate the world. I do not want to run this world. I would like the 8 billion people eventually to run this world, and then I would like a vacation.
Yeah.
Any questions, Calen?
That's a lot of good news there.
Yeah. It is the
Very
best
amazing.
news channel, don't you think?
Oh, this is the best.
All right, what do you say we
Yeah.
answer some questions?
All right, let's do it.
On today's Real Talk, we're talking about the magic of shungite.
I'm using shungite every day. I wear it every day myself for a lot of reasons. It really has an effect, Shay, on what we call stress, anxiety, depression. Those are the metaphysical things. You can't grab them, put them in a box. They're frequencies. Often we own that. We go, well, I'm depressed or anxious or this, that, and the other. And then that holds that frequency around you more. But with energy tools like shungite and your imagination, and I'm speaking literally, you can heal anything you can imagine, literally. You just have to have the confidence.
And now it's time for Connect with Kim. Our news team has selected 3 questions from our audience. And the first one is...
This is Keith Robinson in Atikokan, Ontario, Canada. Kim, what is going on the other 7 or 8 planets that are being liberated? Are they having the delays that we are having here on planet Earth? Can you elaborate on what is going on elsewhere? Love you very much and love everything you do to help us be free.
So, Kim, what's happening on the 7 other planes everywhere else?
Oh, there's a lot of planets. In the 3rd density, we were the worst. So I would say they're not really experiencing delays amongst themselves like we are. They were typically not as prevalent of a gateway as we were. So I would say they're moving along at a faster pace than we are, other than the Genesis project we just talked about, because that's sources time. There's nothing we can do about that in any way. As far as planets that are being liberated, so to speak, you're talking about all star systems, all planets that are from the 5th density on down to the 3rd on our side of the multiverse. So that's a lot of planets, that's a lot of densities, that's a lot of dimensions, and that's a lot of planes where life exists. I would say everybody's moving along well, and you know, I guess, was there confusion as to what was going on? Not really, because, you know, a lot of these places still have representatives with the Universal Council. So when there's a question about a big change that's happening or something that's going on, they will consult with the Universal Council. So there really isn't, you know, the people on Earth here don't want to talk to those people because, you know, number one, I'm an ambassador there, so let's not forget that. Number two, they could have at one point in time reached out to them and asked what the changes were, but of course nobody wants to do that because they don't value them in any way. Remember, the Universal Council was made up of a group of people, or folks, I should say, species, from the light side of the universe in order to defend against the incoming darkness in the Dark Age. So these people, because they were with the darkness and were with the lower astral, they believe that they are more superior. And during a Dark Age, I guess to some degree they were. But that's not the case anymore. So they could get information from those people or those folks. The Universal Council is made up of every species in the light side of the universe, so everybody's pretty well read in. but I wouldn't ever see them valuing them enough to have this conversation.
Okay. And ready for the next question?
Hey, Kim and Sunny. This is Tim from Trinity, North Carolina. Just a quick question about how you're going to be handling the criminal organizations throughout the world. The mob, the Yakuza, the cocaine, heroin sellers, the human traffickers. Are they going to be handled by the GIA or some other way? Thank you for everything you're doing.
So how are we handling these criminal organizations, Kim?
Well, you know, it's funny. Excuse me. He didn't mention the CIA. He didn't mention the MI6. He didn't mention the NSA. He didn't mention all these other people that are trafficking all this stuff too. I would say to you that the organizations that he mentioned, so we typically know them as mafia organizations or whatnot. Now, they were always a creation of the Order of the Black Sun. They've been around since the beginning of time. They've morphed businesses, obviously, into new types of drugs, and human trafficking was a regular occurrence, and then it turned into feeding the pedophiles what they wanted and those types of things, and it's disgusting. But there are people who have ties to most all of these groups. And I would say, for example, one of the families within the Silent Circle actually owns a pharmaceutical company known as Bayer. You've probably seen Bayer aspirin, Bayer, and a number of other Bayer products. Now, due to agreements in the past with the orders, plural, they have had to operate in a certain way. Now, as long as they can be equally profitable, these are the conversations we've had in the past, that they would change the way their pharmaceutical company runs. So that is just one example. Now, because a lot of the times these pharmaceutical companies, this is just one example, they also purchase, opium from Afghanistan and other things that are present in Colombia and so on and so forth. You can imagine. You've seen the movies. They have, I would say, a relationship with these people. And this is just one example, which means that if there was an equally profitable business, and this was something that was discussed over 10 years ago now, an equally profitable business that they could all jump into, then they agreed that they would stop the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, and all of these other types of things. Now, that has been hampered a lot by the Order of the Dragon and their claims that they're still in control, and their claims that they still need to provide these things, and their claim that they owe them 80% of everything they make.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you put it into that perspective, it might be multi-trillions of dollars, in industries, plural, illegal drug trade and human trafficking, but it's not as profitable to the people that actually do it. So, and because we are not looking for any percentage of anything, they would be 10 times more profitable than they are right now. You see? Yeah. The same thing goes for, operatives that do the same thing, and agency people that do the same thing. Right now, they by the time money trickles down to them, they may see 10% of what was put out in the past. But there's nobody between me and them. And why would I take a percentage of my own money? That makes no sense. So they will be more profitable doing different things than they ever have been in the past. You see?
Yep. Okay.
So that's how you change those types of industries. And it's going to take time. And, the discussions have already been had. And the one thing you can count on when you have those discussions with the mafia, unlike the deep state, is that pretty much if you give your word, 20 years later, if they call you on it, you got to do it. So, and it's the same, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
So, definitely.
Okay. And now for the final question.
Hi, Kim and Sunny. This is Michelle from Haarlem in the Landkloof, South Africa. Is there any realm, dimension, density, level, plane, call it what you will, where life is not, or organic life is not part of the food chain?
So is there anywhere where organic life isn't a part of the food chain?
Yes, actually. It has never been a part of the food chain in the 8th and 7th densities. Any life forms, any planets, any solar systems in those densities, because it's not required. You know, we look at our physical selves and we understand that the way that they have genetically modified us as human beings, we require nourishment to make the vessel run. We require proteins. That was also a genetic modification to introduce humans to cannibalism, which didn't exist. And by cannibalism, I don't mean we're eating other humans. I mean we are eating other life forms. We are killing other life forms. That includes plants as well. So I know that people give everybody a difficult time. Yes, that is an organic life form that feeds the life cycle of this planet. Now, we don't necessarily need to eat those types of things in order to survive as humans, but that's not going to be possible until we change our vessel. In other words, we need to genetically modify in the reverse, and then you'll realize we actually do not need to eat food. I know.
Oh, wow.
Because your cells are being fed by the natural essence, natural energy, and natural consciousness of source. Your cells will communicate better with each other. Why would we need to put anything in it? Now, if you do continue to eat, which you could, you know, your body will still function that way. It's for enjoyment. It's not for, you know, and it should be, by the time we get to that point, it should be regenerative things. Like, for example, the fruit on trees is constantly regenerating itself. The plant itself does not die. Once the fruit is ripe enough for you to eat, normally if you didn't touch it, it's going to fall from the tree and die anyway. See what I'm saying? So you're not really interrupting the natural life cycle of things when you do things in this way. So you're leaving the tree intact, you're leaving, the plant is going to discard it anyway, and if you want it, you can have it. But it's more for enjoyment. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Well, to submit a question for Kim, you can send a video of you on camera. Limit your questions to 30 seconds or less at unitednetwork.news under the Field Messengers tab. Our news team, along with Kim, will select a few questions to answer at the end of each newscast. All right.
Well, it was really good to see you again, Calen.
Good to see you, Kim. Thank you.
And I hope you have a wonderful New Year's celebration. And I look forward to seeing more of you next year.
Wonderful. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Well, that wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together to help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record it and share it with us so we can share it with the world. I'm Kimberly Gogan. From all of us at United Network to all of you, we are wishing you an amazing new year, and our team has prepared a special New Year's message just for all of you.
If it was going to be, it was up to you. And you did.
Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity, and...
And we had a little fun along the way.
Just kidding. Did you just say my mic's broken? I need a new mic. Where's my mic? Africa? Madrid has initiated new camps in the archipelago. Well, my mind. Hey, Sunny. Walk it back. Walk it back. Incentive. I can't keep it together.
From all of us here at United Network, Happy New Year.
Why are we back on camera?